So in this lesson, I'm going to teach you a light and airy eggless vanilla cake. So this is very important cake that we need to learn because this is going to be very light. To make it light, we are going to use aerated drink at the end of the batter making process, and that is going to give the frizz, and it is also going to have a lot of the texture to the cake that will make it very light. And now this particular cake is especially important because it could take in a lot of sugar syrup, and that can be used in a lot of layered cakes where we want the sponge to be soaked in sugar syrup, and that is going to be like a nude flavor, and all the rest of the flavors, like you want to infuse any flavored mousse, your fruits or your chocolate or any kind of thing, that you could just add it into the filling to absorb, and the entire slice is going to be really very flavorful. Now that sponge that could be soaked in sugar syrup is very important that we do it right, because it is going to be used in a lot of different places in making layered cakes, and that I'll explain how we are going to use this in different other layered cake combinations. But right now in this course we are going to use this cake to make the Tres Leches, and that is going to soak in 3 different kinds of milk, and the retention ability of that particular sponge, as we are going to pour in a lot of liquid, is very important, and that is why technically this cake is really important for us to learn. I have the ingredients ready here, that is the condensed milk and the butter, which I will beat initially, and then there is rest of the dry, that is salt, icing sugar, all purpose flour and baking powder, and that I will sift it together, and there is vanilla which we could add. And then finally for the vanilla cake, the frizz, the carbonated drink that we need to use is Sprite. You could use any other non-flavored carbonated drink is also quite good to go, and I will not be measuring it and keeping it ahead of time. That's going to be about 80 ml that we need to use. So I have a measuring jar handy, and the bottle seal is not open, but however if you're going to open a bottle to use it for one cake, and if you're going to tightly close it, you could keep it in the fridge and you're not going to shake it up, and you just have the frizz locked inside the bottle. You could use it again after maybe a couple of days, or through that week, if you know the frizz is still retained, then you could just take it and then use it again. But right now that is a bottle in which the seal is not opened at all, so I'm just going to open just before the step I'm going to use it. Okay, so I'm just going to start with a recipe. Initially, to begin with, I'm going to sift the dry in a bowl. I'm just going to sift the flour, icing sugar, baking powder, salt, then I'm just going to set this one aside. Get the bowl, the stand mixer. Into that I'm going to add the butter. Now if your butter is not very soft at this stage, then you beat the butter, make it soft, after which add the condensed milk. I'm going to now first beat the butter, make it soft now. Now I'm just going to add the condensed milk. And then beat this for about 2 to 3 minutes until we have the condensed milk and butter nicely incorporated. have the condensed milk and butter nicely beaten together. I'm adding the vanilla and will beat until it is fully incorporated. Now at this stage you could add the flour all at once and then fold it and then let the beater finish the final beating together. But also if you have a stand mixer like that, then you could just let it running and then add about a tablespoon at a time, so it just also slowly incorporates. So I'm going to do that. It's quite a thick batter at the stage. Just want to show how it looks and also scrape down the bowl. So that's how it's going to look at the stage. I'm just going to measure the carbonated drink and then pour it as the beater is running. So I'm just going to measure about 85 ml. So there is a 75 ml mark, and then I'm just going to check for 85. I'm just going to have the beater running and then pour the carbonated drink. Just beat on medium-high speed for about a minute until you have it incorporated well. Don't have to beat for long. It's going to scrape down. So that's how the final batter is going to look like. Then I have one 6-inch pan, the mold prepared, because I'm going to use the cake without having it toasted. You could still be able to toast them into 4 layers also, but then if you decide you want to have lesser baking time, you can divide it between 6 pans. That is, however, if you're going to use the same sponge for any other layered cake, for Tres Leches, we'll just do it in one pan because we don't want layers. I'm just going to level it up. Going to tap it. Okay, and then this needs to get baked at 180 degrees Celsius. So have your oven preheating until now at 180 degrees Celsius, and this will need anywhere between 35 to 40 minutes, or until the cake is not wobbly on the top and a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. I'll do that and get back to show you how the cake got baked. So the light and airy eggless vanilla cake is out of the oven. The pan is quite warm still. I just want to show how soft it looks, and our toothpick inserted into the center coming out clean. I'm going to transfer this onto the wire rack to show you how it looks. It's warm and extremely soft. Okay, so this needs to be cling wrapped and for a minimum of 4 hours or up to overnight, but then this is going to soak up all the milk in the cake that we will be making, Tres Leches. So I'll get back in that lesson to show you how we are going to set up the Tres Leches cake.